Are you waiting for somebody to save you? Are you in the mindset that maybe somebody someday will come into your situation and rescue you? They'll be your savior, they'll have the answers, they'll have the solutions, and maybe they'll even do the work. Today I want to discuss a verse with you that reminds us that the greatest power to uplift your life is already inside of you. Welcome to your Monday message. I am Dharma Shakti, your host, with your weekly dose of something inspirational. These Monday messages are meant to infuse and integrate spiritual wisdom and yogic philosophy with personal development and everyday living, so that your yoga is not happening just on your yoga mat, but in your everyday life. So let's unpack this verse from the Bhagavad Gītā, chapter 6, verse 5. This is one of my favorite verses, actually. I reference it often when I'm teaching classes. I'm going to reference a slightly different part of the verse today, but I'll still incorporate my favorite part of it. The theme for this verse is really and truly self-responsibility. The verse is, a portion of the verse. A portion of this verse is, Uddhared, ātmanātmānaṁ. This very short sentence within the full verse says, one should uplift oneself by oneself. Let's unpack this a little bit deeper, but this is such a powerful verse full of wisdom. I'm really excited to share it with you today. So let's unpack this verse. A simple explanation that's really easy to digest and apply to your life is, you are the only one who can truly uplift your mind in the long run and for the long haul. Others can inspire you, others can encourage you, which may be uplifting. But ultimately, wherever you go, there you are. And so you would benefit greatly in the endeavor of your yogic journey and your personal development, the endeavor of life, if you learned and trained yourself to uplift yourself. An easy translation is, don't degrade yourself with your own mind. You must uplift yourself with your mind. One should uplift oneself by one's own effort. That's really the essence of this verse. One should uplift oneself by one's own effort. And you should not degrade yourself. So here's a more literal translation of this full verse. I'm just giving you a short portion. You can go check it out. Bhagavad Gītā, chapter 6, verse 5. And the full verse says, one should uplift oneself by one's own effort and should not degrade oneself. For the self is the friend of the self, and the self is the enemy of the self. I often say, for one who has learned to control the mind is the greatest friend. But for one who is not, the mind is the greatest enemy. And you, my friend, have to do that work. There is nobody who is going to rescue you or do that work for you. And what this means is that we have the power to shape our own lives, whether to rise or to fall, to be enlightened or entrapped, lies within the individual's own mind and actions. A disciplined and detached mind is really the greatest ally in your spiritual progress, while an uncontrolled mind, absorbed in sense objects, right, just things that are outside of us, and absorbed in sort of material gain and competition and all that stuff, becomes really the cause of suffering and degradation. Just a big, fancy spiritual world for brings us down. It brings us down into our lower self. So here are 5 key points that I think will really drive this verse home for you in a very applicable way so that you can really bring it into your day-to-day. Point number 1, self-responsibility. Self-responsibility equals empowerment. Taking responsibility is not a burden, it's liberation. The Gita reminds us that our spiritual growth, our freedom, or our bondage rest on our own choices. And when we own this truth, we really reclaim our power to change. And instead of blaming circumstances, we realize, I may not control what happens, but I do control how I rise, how I uplift myself, how I transcend and overcome these obstacles, these pains, these struggles. Point number 2, no one else can walk your path for you. Your teachers, your friends, and your guides, they can point the way. They can inspire you. They can pour into you. But they cannot carry you to freedom. Each step must be walked by the individual. Just as no one else can breathe for you and no one else can meditate for you or live your life for you, this path is yours to embody. Your growth, your evolution, your transformation, and your healing, your upliftment and empowerment in your life is yours to embody. This truth, I know, is both sobering and deeply empowering. Point number 3, inner work is the foundation of outer change. The inner work is the foundation for the outer change. When we shift our mindset, our habits, and our inner dialogue, our outer life naturally transforms. Yoga reminds us that the outer world is a reflection of our inner environment. As my dear teacher, Radhanath Swami, says, if you want to clean the ecology of the world, start by cleaning the ecology of your heart. And I might add, the ecology of your mind. And by taking this responsibility for our thoughts and our choices and our responses, we create real change in our relationships and in our work and in our community and in our growth and our progress. Point number 4, taking responsibility dissolves victimhood. Blame keeps us stuck. It's a very sticky, heavy energy, blame. We're not going to have any forward movement in our life if we stay in blame. So this verse really brings us into taking responsibility and dissolves this tendency or this ability or this outlet for our frustration to blame it on others or circumstances outside of ourselves. Self-responsibility releases us from victimhood. The moment that we stop saying, this is happening to me, and we start asking ourselves, how am I choosing to respond? We shift from powerless to powerful. Responsibility doesn't mean fault. It just means your ability to respond. Point number 5, uplifting yourself inspires others. When we rise, we naturally become a light for others. By choosing responsibility and discipline and growth, we give others permission to do the same. So your self-upliftment doesn't just benefit you, it ripples outward, encouraging family and friends and students to take ownership of their journey. Together, these points form a powerful arc. Empowerment begins with you. The path is yours alone. Inner work shapes our outer life, and responsibility dissolves victimhood, and your growth uplifts the world. So how can we apply this in our modern day life like right now? Stop waiting for permission. Start where you are. That's the best thing to do. Start where you are, work with what you got, and have a forward-thinking mind. Have yourself looking forward, but uplift yourself as you're doing it. Ask yourself, what's one thing that I can do today that will actually uplift me? Now, you may get input from other people, but you choosing to put on an inspiring podcast to uplift yourself is you taking the action. But what's one thing that I can do today to uplift myself? Maybe I say some kind words to myself in the mirror. Maybe I cheer myself on and pump myself up like a cheerleader. Or maybe I just put a hand on a heart and remind myself, you got this. Everything is figure-outable. So here are some questions for you to expand this thought process, and you can even write these down. I'll put them in the description box down below this video for you so that you can take some time to journal about this and have some very powerful insights. And this is one way that you can take action today to create change now. First question is, where am I waiting for others to do for me what I must do for myself? This is a bold question, and if you can answer it honestly, you will know where you need to act, and if you can lean into acting in that place, you will start to be a change maker in your own life. Ask yourself, what does self-responsibility look like in my life? And When do I give away my power by putting that self-responsibility in the hands of somebody else? Make sure that you take some time to really sit with these questions and dig deep with some radical self-honesty and find some awareness, some really powerful self-awareness that's going to allow you to reclaim your agency in your life, to reclaim your ability to take your life into your own hands and make the change that you desire. You don't need to wait for anybody, and you shouldn't wait for anybody, because nobody is coming to save you. I'll leave you with these last words of encouragement. You are not alone, but you are responsible. And that is your freedom. Taking that responsibility and taking that accountability means you're not waiting for anybody else. You're choosing you now, and you're choosing your future now. You're choosing your growth now. You are not alone, but you are responsible for you. If you would like some deeper journal prompts to go much more into this topic, which I highly encourage that you do, I will leave a link down below in the description box for you to access that downloadable PDF with all the journal prompts that are on there, to just get you sort of digging out that inner wisdom and that knowledge that's there underneath the surface of the thinking mind. All right, friend, I want to leave you with this last little bit of inspiration. Hopefully it touches your heart and inspires you to get going. The path of yoga really is walked from within. Lift yourself and you lift the world around you. Tap into that heart. Do the good work from in there. Use your heart to remind you. Remind your mind. Uplift yourself from your heart upward to the mind. You got this. That you have purpose. That you belong. That your life has meaning and your existence has value. You can figure things out. You deserve to go forward in your life feeling confident, feeling empowered, feeling clear. But that requires that you take responsibility and that you take accountability for yourself and what goes on up here. All right, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this message. If you did, please do hit the like button. If you'd like to get notified when I drop these messages, you can also hit the subscribe button down below. These come out every Monday. I am fusing spiritual development or spiritual wisdom with personal development so that your life changes outside of your yoga practice and in your day-to-day, not just when you're on your mat, but when you're out in the world. So I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to share this beautiful and ancient yogic wisdom for you to apply in your modern day life. I know that this wisdom has profound ability to completely transform the life that you experience, and you deserve that. So happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. And as I often remind my friends and my clients, keep your head held high and your heart open wide. So much love from my heart to yours. Peace and blessings, and namaste.